This is Anastasia, and she has lots and lots of cool, interesting things to say. And we're going to talk about language, the Ukrainian language, and the Russian language, and how language has affected her. So take it away, Anastasia.
Yeah, hi. The thing we started with was like I was sharing that I was raised in a very pro-Ukrainian family. When saying pro-Ukrainian, I mean both of my parents, they are from village, and village is the point like which saves traditions better. And the thing is, as a child, I had lots of compliments for beautiful Ukrainian language, not like half Ukrainian, half Russian, not Russian, but like beautiful Ukrainian language. I remember like, oh, your baby has such a beautiful Ukrainian, and I was like, nice. And by the way, I remember like my first memory from Crimea. We've been visiting Crimea. I was 6, and I was given money in public transport, and like I saw something like give it to a driver or something, and one lady she responded me with like talk your Ukrainian language in your Ukraine. And I was like, mommy, we are in Ukraine, why are they like saying that? And she was like, I'll explain you later when we will leave a bus. And I was like, okay, but we are in Ukraine, what's happening? And like now I realize what's happening. It's like half to half. And we have here like two streams of culture traditions, and it's a point where I hope it will change forever. Really. Like the thing is, I've been studying in very pro-Ukrainian university, Kiev-Mohyla Academy, and it was founded in 1615, and it has its own like history. But the thing is, I was surrounded here in Kiev. I wasn't born in Kiev. I was born in Cherkasy. It's central Ukraine. And here in Kiev-Mohyla Academy, I was surrounded with people who were sharing same pro-Ukrainian, like, let me call it just Ukrainian culture. And I remember like being a school kid, we were talking Russian in school. And actually I remember I was going to school each day and thinking, I will talk Ukrainian today. My mom is a teacher of Ukrainian language and literature, and we had lots of like, for example, there is a singer Kvitka Tisek. She lived in United States, and she was born in Ukraine, or maybe not born. I forgot the word. When you move, she was an immigrant, or maybe from immigrant family. I lost this point of her biography right now. Sorry. But the thing is that, like, I remember all of my classmates, they realized who is Kvitka Tisek when we were passing ZNO. It's like the final exam for entering a college or university. And we had a text about her on this exam about Kvitka Tisek, and everyone was, wow, it's Kvitka Tisek. And I was listening to Kvitka Tisek in my family, like from childhood. So the point is, I was going to school and I was like, if I will talk Ukrainian, maybe like I have to talk Ukrainian because I want to. And it's hard when like it's cool to talk Russian, and I was switching. And then I came to university, and I had more people in my bubble who was sharing this idea. And I thought, what if I will be cool and I will be talking Ukrainian, and then people who will surround me, they will think, oh wow, it's cool to talk Ukrainian.
How'd that work?
It worked bad. I switched to Russian because firstly actually, I remember how it started. Like I had till the first grade of university, I had straight position. I'm not switching into Russian, but then I started like kissing a guy on parties, and he was Russian speaking, and I switched to Russian with him. Then I started switching. Then I had like long relationships in Russian, and then I work in creative industry, like in advertising, in filming advertising, and everyone cool there, like stylists, directors, agencies, they all communicate in Russians. All of my I'm the only I get used I used to be the only one person who at my current work were writing emails in Ukrainian, and everyone's all Russian. And the thing is, I switched into Russian as well, and it didn't work for me. This my idea to be like Ukrainian speaking person who will be doing like micro influencing. I will be cool, and you would like to switch into Ukrainian. It didn't work for me. Partly, I wasn't like, I was half to half, and people are still complimenting me for my Ukrainian as like it's rich. Yeah. And the thing is, what's now happening, like I realize how it to represent Ukrainian culture when you just want it to be not an option but a main culture in your country, which is called Ukraine. Surprise. Yeah. And the thing is, I realize that we all have like history, background, something which made us, like experience which made us to be who we are. But the thing is that we are living in the point of time. It's like saying, I had no father because I have some I'm attracted to men who takes care of me, and sometimes they're bad. It's like looking for excuses because of something happened in the past. So I realize that huge part of people who lives here in Ukraine today, they had some Russian speaking background. They have it as a mother language. While I was experiencing refuses, like I was asked to work in a how is it called, publishing, like l'officiel work is fashion editorials, and I was like, once I was asked to work in new media, and it was 2017, and I was like, what will be the language of this media? And they were Russian, and I was like, I don't want to start a new media in 2017 in Russian. And it's like I got some refusals because of language. I got this experience when you come to a cafe and they start talking to you in Russian. It's like default language Russian. So I believe it's the point where things just changed, and Russian speaking Ukrainians need to realize it's just hurtful. It's hurtful to listen to Russian in this space, and it must become uncomfortable to talk in Russian in public. I mean, what are you talking in kitchen or bedroom? It's your private life. You're welcome. It's about your values. But about like public agreement, it needs to be uncomfortable to start conversation in Russian or ask something in Russian, because it's not working language. And I had like lately on work, I had a project, and like production sent us some documents in Russian, and I was like, wow, why on earth you think it's comfortable for me to read this language of like country which occupies part of our territories is just hurtful. I mean, normal. Yeah, it must be normal not to start communication in Russian. It's like it's a not comfortable language for us.
Will that happen? You think it's going to happen?
I think that's gonna happen if lots of people, lots of my friends switched into Ukrainian. Lots of people who were born in Kiev, in cities which were. I mean, I realize why it's happening. So why we have like huge amount of Russian-speaking Ukrainians. I realize it's like part of our history, but we're in the point where everyone can decide. So it's like. Lots of people since 24th of February made their everyday job to protect our lives. So the least thing we can make on our front, on cultural front, is to choose to switch to Ukrainian just in public space, please. It's the least what you can do. They are fighting with like I forgot weapon, and you can fight with words, with your mouth. You can. And I saw people who did it. They sound beautiful in Ukrainian, really. It's all about like actually if you don't switch into Ukrainian in public space, it only means you have lack of education and lack of how it's like причинєво-наслідкові зв'язки. You will got it. This pause, this long pause. Як будуть причинєво-наслідкові зв'язки англійською? It's a reason and there is a consequence. So it's reasonal, consequential connections. Okay. I was like, there is a reason, there is a consequence. So if you don't see it,
Are you gonna micro influence?
Oh yeah, I started actually. I don't answer anymore in Russian, like to none of who is talking to me in Russian. Also started to fix some of constructions which are in use, you know, because when you have like a space where like lots of Russian speaking people and some of phrases, when I check that, oh, it's something in Russian and it's, you know, like how do we call like сталі конструкції? It's сталі конструкції. It's like fixed phrases which you use, like see you a while, crocodile, or best wishes, little fishes, something. And if it's in Russian, I think, okay, how can I change it with Ukrainian and like start using in my space so maybe someone will like it and get. And actually, I saw how it works. I have a friend from Kryvyi Rih. It's also eastern Ukraine. They are bombed a while for a long. And my friend switched into very Ukrainian phrase. She starts with like, there is no phrase in it. And she's like, nazahal. And it's so cool. I saw, because when you start exploring yourself in new language, you are the other one. I mean, me in English differs from, I'm different in English than I'm in Ukrainian, than I'm in Russian. You have like it's a game. So if you will follow this game, you might discover something new about you. So it must be funny. It mustn't be like they make me talk Ukrainian. No, they just like we're asking you come to our party. Yeah, so I think it will work if it will be kind. I mean, with no aggression, with no judgment, with understanding. It's hard to like recompose your mindset, but it's also funny. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.